All right, Johnson & Johnson is out with a rocky earnings report this morning. The company says it is cutting its full-year outlook after a disappointing quarter for its COVID-19 vaccine. The company cut its guidance range for adjusted EPS to $10.15 to $10.35 from $10.40 to $10.60. Joining us now is our very own Anjalee Khemlani. Anjalee, wow, there was a big drop-off here in COVID sales in this quarter versus the fourth quarter here. What's going on?
Well, I think it's safe to say that COVID fatigue is also hitting the vaccines. I think that's the best way to summarize it. And that's part of what they saw the miss on. But there's also other pressures as well, right? We know, of course, what's going on in Russia has had an impact. All the supply chain constraints have also been hitting the company as well, especially in the consumer area. And then we've also seen a drop off in pharmaceuticals in the first month of the quarter, but then that picked up a little bit towards the end. So it's just a mixed bag, I think, for the quarter in summary.
I mean, it's interesting because not only did they see those disappointing vaccine sales, what really stuck out to me, they're not giving a forecast for vaccine sales. And what's also interesting is that forecast that we mentioned for the full year does not take into account vaccine sales because they can't predict them according to the company, or they're choosing not to predict.
They're choosing not to. Well, they're not choosing to, and it is unique for them to break out a product like that, right? That is different. No other company really does that for any of their products. They do give it to you as part of the full report, and we've seen that some of these vaccine companies have broken out, especially when they have record numbers. We've seen, for example, Pfizer and Moderna, right, like 100% increase year over year, quarter over quarter, and so that is a much bigger number, and J&J never really played at that level. They never really were, a large part of that market. So that, I think, is where you're seeing that play a role.
Well, you talked about sort of COVID fatigue, if you will, people not getting vaccines as much, or maybe everyone who wanted a vaccine has gotten their shots already.